You wake up. You get dressed. You drive the same road, order the same coffee, and sit at the same desk. Hours disappear without leaving a trace. The day ends and you cannot remember a single real moment of it, not one conversation, not one detail worth keeping. This is not living. This is running a program someone else designed for you a long time ago, and you simply pressed play. Most people run this exact program for years, decades even, without ever once noticing that somewhere along the way, the switch got flipped and nobody was watching. Then, for 1 second, something breaks through the fog. A sound, a smell, a stranger's laugh cutting through the noise of the day. And for that single second, the whole world comes rushing back into focus. Sharp. Bright. Undeniably real. Colors look different. Sounds feel closer. You are suddenly, fully here. That second matters more than it seems, because it proves something important. You were never actually asleep this entire time. You were simply choosing, moment after moment, without realizing it, not to look, not to notice, not to feel any of it. Same alarm at the same time. Same shower, same 3 minutes under the water without a single thought in your head. Same breakfast, eaten standing over the sink while scrolling a phone you don't even remember picking up. Same drive, on a route so familiar your body steers itself while your mind drifts somewhere completely different. None of this happened by accident. It is a system, quietly built over years through nothing more than repetition, running underneath your attention every single day while you assume you are the one in control of it. Weeks turn into months without announcing themselves. Months quietly turn into years. And then one ordinary afternoon, you look up from whatever you were doing and realize an entire chapter of your life has already passed you by. Birthdays. Seasons. Conversations that mattered. Not because nothing happened during that time, plenty did, but because you were never actually present for any of it. You were there in body, moving through the motions, while the version of you that actually experiences life had quietly checked out somewhere along the way. Your brain is not lazy, whatever you've been told. It is remarkably efficient, built to conserve energy wherever it possibly can. Every action you repeat enough times carves a groove, a shortcut, so your mind can stop spending effort thinking and start running purely on instinct instead. This is incredibly useful for something like tying your shoes or brushing your teeth without a second thought. But it becomes genuinely dangerous the moment it quietly expands, taking over conversations, relationships, entire days, until it isn't just tying your shoes anymore. It's running your whole life. Have you ever arrived somewhere and had absolutely no memory of the drive that got you there? No memory of the turns, the traffic lights, the other cars around you? That is not a glitch in your thinking. That is autopilot working exactly as it was designed to work. Your body executed 1,000 precise, split-second decisions perfectly, safely, without a single mistake, while the part of you that actually experiences and remembers life had already clocked out completely, somewhere back at the very first red light. This is the real cost, and it rarely gets talked about. Not burnout. Not stress. Something far quieter, and honestly far more dangerous than either of those. It is the slow, silent disappearance of your own life while you were technically still living it, still showing up, still checking every box. You do not lose your years all at once, in one dramatic moment you'd notice and remember. You lose them slowly, one unnoticed day at a time, until suddenly a decade is simply gone and you cannot explain where. Out of 365 days in a single year, how many can you actually recall in any real detail? Take a moment and genuinely try. For most people, the honest answer is deeply uncomfortable to sit with. A handful of holidays. A few hard, painful moments that forced you to pay attention. And everything else, grayed out completely, unlived in any meaningful sense, quietly spent on a version of you that was performing the motions but was never really, truly present for any of it. But here is the genuinely good news in all of this. Autopilot can be switched off at any single moment, by absolutely anyone, regardless of how long it's been running. It does not require a crisis. It does not require a diagnosis, a breakdown, or hitting some dramatic rock bottom before you're allowed to change. It only requires one deliberate, conscious pause. One single moment where you physically stop moving, stop scrolling, stop rushing, and actually notice, perhaps for the first time in a long while, that you exist. In that pause, something remarkable happens almost instantly. Everything sharpens again, all at once. Colors return to their full intensity. Sounds return with startling clarity. The world stops being a blurred, meaningless backdrop rushing past you and becomes something you are genuinely, physically inside of, participating in rather than just observing from a distance. This is not some abstract metaphor meant to sound poetic. This is quite literally what presence feels like in your body, the very instant you actually choose it for yourself. Start small, because small is sustainable and small actually works. Each morning, before Autopilot has the chance to grab the wheel again, name one specific thing you genuinely want to notice that day. A particular conversation. A meal you're going to actually taste. A single walk you're going to actually feel beneath your feet. This one simple act of naming something in advance forces your mind to stay anchored and present for it later, instead of letting the habit loop quietly swallow the entire moment whole without you. Then, just as importantly, do only one thing at a time, on purpose. Not 5 browser tabs open, 3 notifications buzzing, and a half-eaten lunch balanced on your knee, all fighting for a sliver of your attention simultaneously. One task. One focus. Fully there, fully committed, nothing else competing for space in your head. Multitasking feels productive in the moment, it genuinely does, but it is actually one of Autopilot's favorite and most convincing disguises, quietly splitting your attention so thin that none of it ever truly registers or sticks. Take a completely different route home tonight, even if it adds a few extra minutes. Order something at the restaurant you have genuinely never tried before. Sit in a different chair at the table than the one you always default to. These changes might seem trivial, almost pointless on the surface, but they force your brain out of its well-worn, comfortable groove and directly back into the present moment, simply because there is no existing habit built for unfamiliar ground. Your mind has no choice but to actually pay attention. And when you inevitably feel the day sliding back into that familiar blur, because it will happen, that's normal, just stop wherever you are. Take one full, deliberate breath, all the way in and all the way out. Feel your feet firmly on the ground beneath you. That single breath acts as a genuine reset button, small enough to use absolutely anywhere, in any situation, yet strong enough to pull you immediately back into the actual room, the actual moment, that you are physically standing in right now. None of this requires quitting your job overnight or dramatically overhauling your entire life in one impulsive weekend. It only requires a quiet, consistent refusal to let the program keep running completely unchecked, day after day, without question. A pause here. A single breath there. One genuinely noticed moment stacked carefully on top of another, and then another after that, until presence gradually becomes your new natural default, and Autopilot, once your constant background setting, slowly becomes the rare exception instead of the exhausting rule. You only get one single version of this exact day, this one right now, and it will never come back around again in quite the same way. Not the numb, blurred version your habits quietly perform for you while you're not looking, The real one. The one you actually feel, actually see, and will genuinely remember years from now. So today, just once, deliberately stop the autopilot mid-motion. Look up from whatever is pulling your attention away. And really, truly, fully be here, right now, for once.